Hi, you're again with Volleyball Explained and our podcast First Tempo. Our guest today is Bradley Gunter, one of the best volleyball players in the Bulgarian League, and just a few days ago, also a champion of the league with the team of Hebar. Bradley, first of all, I'd like to thank you for accepting the invitation to be a guest in our podcast, First Tempo, and to congratulate you with the title won with Hebar.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here and pretty happy about the win.
Uh, you're for 2 years here now, and actually in the semifinal series this season, you had a pretty tough clash against the team of Montana, but thereafter you won more or less easily, at least in terms of result, against the team of Neftochimik, the champion from the years before that. And for the semifinal and the final, you had a new coach, Aleksandar Popov. What did he change after he came in the team, and especially before the final? Some people say that he's very good from a psychological point of view.
Yeah, for sure. He came in with, he gave a calm manner to the guys. Everyone was a little bit more relaxed. We had a lot of stress. We didn't win the cup or the Super Cup before, so we were really worried about not winning more. And he came in. He said every day we're together needs to be like 1 month together, and we need to have urgency when we're doing everything. And yeah, he did a really good job of just bringing everyone together and making sure everyone's calm and just doing their own job and coming together as a team. And I have a lot of respect for him for doing that.
He's for sure a very good coach. Let's have a step a little bit back in time. Volleyball is for sure not the most popular sport in Canada. And in Canada, I believe that ice hockey is the religion. Firstly, have you ever played hockey? And secondly, how did you choose to play volleyball at the end?
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone in Canada can not play hockey in some sense. You play it in gym class in school. You play with your friends after school, in the driveway and everything. So I was doing all this. My father put me in hockey when I was younger, and I didn't like it then. I tried it for maybe only a couple months. You know how young kids are. I didn't like it, and I ended up not going back to it. But I still liked playing with my friends, just street hockey. We played all the time some street hockey. But yeah, I more went in the direction of basketball and volleyball, and those two kind of pair together. A lot of athletes go back and forth between them. So I was kind of back and forth. Throughout my whole high school career, I was playing both all the time because one season would start, finish, and then the next one would start. There wasn't much overlap. Um, yeah, I can't say exactly why I got into volleyball, but I'm happy I did, obviously.
Actually, which is your first year in Europe? Because we know that I believe that there is no professional league in Canada, so it's more likely more as the U.S. College Championship. Which was your first year, and where did you play for the very first time in Europe?
My first year was, well, I played 3 years here, 1 year in Poland, and my first year was in Estonia before that. So, and yeah, before that, I was playing university in Canada, and that's just what you do. There's no professional leagues.
Yeah, and I believe you won the Polish Cup with Trefl Gdansk, and Andrea Anastasi, who was also before a guest in our podcast, was your coach there. Could you make a comparison between the Polish level of playing, the Polish league and the Bulgarian league? With Hebar, you played also against the team of Zaverce, I believe, a year and a half ago in the European tournaments.
Mhm. Yeah, obviously the Polish league is really strong. When you look, you have some Bulgarian players playing there, and they're top level from the national team. Um, yeah, the Polish league is really strong. They all their coaches are from international coaches because they can pull all the best Italian coaches they want and whatnot. And like Xavier when we played them there, they beat us pretty strongly, and they're I don't know what they placed that year, maybe 6, 7, not in the top. So you can see their league is really strong.
And do you believe that for the time you are here, 3 years, there is a positive development in the level of the Bulgarian league? Do you think it's better than 3 years before in terms of more teams playing on a higher level, more teams with let's say the intention to be on the first or at least in the top three?
Yeah, obviously I can't speak from before about the league, but yeah, I think it is improving. I think some more teams are starting to look at some international player to up their roster a little bit. There's lots of trades, there's lots of movement. You know, the top 4 teams are quite strong, and there's some of the 5, 6 teams are sometimes winning some games. So you can see it's improving a little bit.
You're playing as an opposite and you're playing with left hand. So could you please tell me what are the advantages and also if there are any disadvantages of playing with the left hand, attacking with the left hand, of course?
Well, I'd say for an opposite with left hand, you have a lot closer set because the setter is positioned a little bit closer to you, so you can really beat the block diagonally because the middle blocker doesn't have much time if you're running a fast set, and you can work the diagonal really quickly, and this is probably the biggest advantage. Whereas a right hand player needs to wait for the ball to come across to their right hand before they attack it. So that gives, this whatever
Yeah.
milliseconds um, for the blocker to arrive. Um, Maybe some disadvantage on attacking on the left side. Position 4 is a little bit weaker, but even right now, there's some really top level left-handed receivers, and I like watching them, and I try to not take notes, but I look at what they're doing and how they're approaching, how they're handling like high balls from position 4 is really difficult for me, and they can manage to score points on these. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe there are some teams even, which was not that typical before, but now they play with even two left-hand hitters out of the three outside hitters, the two receivers and the diagonal. For example, I think that Vibo Valentia in Italy played with Rosar and the diagonal, the opposite Neto. So this is something very standard now. And what about serving? Because during the whole season, Hebar was very strong in terms of serving efficiently in your hole, Vasilevsky and Pazardzic, but not that efficiently in other holes, even if there is enough space behind the end line. Can you explain what are the specifics in this regard? Not only about the space, because this is something almost self-explanatory, but also I've heard and read players when serving, of course not when serving, but after the matches or before the matches, complaining even about the lights and also about the ceiling. It's when it is too dark or something like this.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, it goes back to comfort. You do something 100 times, 1,000 times in your own hall, you're going to be more comfortable doing that. But there's going to be more consistency. But when you go somewhere else, it's not as consistent. That's why we go always the day before training. You're training in the morning of the game to. It's not because you need training. It's because you need to find a feeling in this hall. Because yeah, sometimes the light is in the place I always serve, so I need to step 2 meters to the right. This takes me out of my comfort zone a little bit. And so as players, we need to find a way to manage. And, with experience, you get used to so many different halls and stuff. But yeah, it goes down to just it's a change, and change is hard to make always right away.
Let's ask this question. Which is the hole after your hole in Pazagic where you are the most comfortable serving from in?
I don't know. Hard to say. I mean, for this, I would need to look at the numbers, but without looking at the numbers, like I feel okay serving in Neftochim Hall because I've played there so many times. Every playoff we're playing against them there. Mark Dupnitz, it's okay. It's like nice big hall, lots of room. It's bright. It's not dark. Levski's new hall is difficult on the other side. It's dark up top, and this is different a little bit. Also, there's a lot more room on the ends of the hall compared to ours. Like past the end line, there's, I don't know, 25 meters on both sides. It's a lot.
Since you mentioned numbers, just a slight question about this. Have you do you look a lot in numbers? Because there are some players who say that numbers, a lot of statistics are actually are concerning from them, and they don't like looking at numbers and statistics a lot.
For me, I believe statistics are important to a certain level. Like you can see trends, you can see what's going on. I look at the numbers, but I don't put 100% in the weight of my feeling in those numbers, if that makes sense. Like I won't change something drastically just because I see a 5 instead of a 2 on my serving errors or something, right? This is just a general guideline to help.
And my last question is, of course, you probably communicate with your teammates mostly in English, but for these 3 years, did you learn some Bulgarian words which help you during a training or a match, and which are they? And of course, also some expressions, wording, etc.
Yeah, of course I learned some stuff. Like in training, when you hear stuff so many times, I know like Burdzo, Visoka, all the numbers of the positions, Niska. Yeah, sure. I like even when the coach says we're doing some drill, attack Brava, Ostro diagonal, like I understand this stuff, and it's 3 years is a while in one place to not understand nothing.
Bradley, thank you again for accepting the invitation to be a guest in First Tempo, and I would like to wish you in first place to have a lot of success with Hebar, and on second place, but not on last place, to be called up in the Canadian national team for this summer and to play in the league. Thank you again. And I would like also to thank to the listeners and viewers of this podcast for watching or listening to us. You can do it on all platforms. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, you can do it, and I will be very grateful for this one. And thank you, and see you and listen to us also the next time. Bye-bye.